Hi and welcome. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. So, we're going to talk about some power numbers today. Well, actually master numbers, because there's a difference between power numbers and master numbers. So come say hello to me. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. As a modern mystic, my goal is to help you raise your level of vibration so that you do what you came here to do, that you get what you want in life, that you create and you manifest in a way that is most appropriate and truthful for you. So what we're going to look at, oh, by the way, in astrology, if you don't know what I say that the planets don't make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos. Everything is energy. Everything. And so when a planet makes a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. That's about it. Okay, of course, the sun and moon are not planets, and there's certain configurations that we'll talk about all this stuff. So just a reminder, in the new year, coming up in the new year, I will be here on Thursday only. Same bat time, same bat channel. I think I have to switch out my glasses. Those are like my work glasses. And these are my... Oh, there you are. Okay. So, hi, who's here? Elizabeth. Happy New Year. Hi, Shelby. Your personal year is a number 9. Okay, so pace it, right? What about you, Elizabeth? Pace it. 9s, as we talked about in the last show, a 9 is the completion, the ending of something. You add all the numbers up, you get a 9. It's what matters to you now, what no longer resonates with you. It's all about vibration. And what I want people to do is really think about the narrative. What is the same thing you're churning over and over and over and over again? What really matters to you? What makes sense to you? What is the truth of you, so to speak? I want to tell you a fun little story, talk about manifesting and how it plays out in the real world. So, you know how I like my all my cards. I don't have all my cards, but they're over there in a big box. But I like to play with my cards, right? So I got a Oracle of the 7 Energies, Colette Baron read for Christmas from a dear friend. I'm very happy and excited to start using that. You know, I've got my crystal spirits over here. I've got my universal law cards over here. And my husband bought me, and I used them in the last show, my husband bought me the Let the Moon Be Your Guide, the Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland, and the artwork by Nyx Rowan. And she does amazing stuff. So Dean came in to tell me a story the other day. And this was after Christmas, after I had gotten these Moonology cards. And he came in and he said, you know, he's a copywriter and a marketer, high-level marketer. And he's a really good writer. And so he's on a lot of forums and they discuss marketing tips and strategies and all the stuff that turns those people on. Like we talk about our stuff. So he checked his messages. He doesn't always. And so he found a message from a gal who wanted to chat saying, oh, I just discovered you. I heard you make a post, something about astrology, and that's really fascinating. I would love to chat with you, just get to know you. You know, that's how it works, right? So Dean comes into my office the other day after Christmas and he said, I just texted, as you know, like Messenger or Facebook or something, communicated with Yasmin Boland. She saw me, wanted to get to know me. And so the three of us had a lovely Zoom chat the other day. It was not because we bought the cards. It was because of something completely different related to marketing. And so it was so fun to actually, and I was like, hey, I just talked about your cards and I love them. They're so fun. And I'm not making, you know, if I promote a card or a deck or something or a thing, I'm not signed up for any kind of profit on that. So, But these are fun. But that was a fun story, right? And so now we're all becoming friends across the pond. What do you know? Isn't that fun? Okay, so, and they're great cards, really. Take a look. I mean, they're on sale now, too, I saw. They're on Etsy, and they're on, here, they're called Moonology Oracle Cards and Guidebook. And I'm going to pull some today for us. So they're on Amazon. I think they're on sale on Amazon right now. Anyway, Lucy's here. Hi, Lucy. Happy New Year, everyone. Elizabeth is a 6-year. Oh, yay. I like 6 years. I like 5 and 6 years. 3 and 4 are so dang busy. 5 and 6 it can be busy, but they're more fun. A lot of activities with people. So Kate, hi Kate, going into a 7-year. Om Tat Savitur Varenam. Let's meditate every day, Kate. Let's get quiet. If you're in a 3, 7, or 9 year this year, coming up in 2021, what you want to really do is look at what stuff that you have in your environment that creates your narrative and let it go. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's time to let things go. And sometimes it means people or pets or a way of life or a lifestyle or a city, a location, a job, a community, right? So, donating books, donate it, sell it, give it away, throw it out, whatever you got to do, recycle it. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. So, Rikara says these were just gifted to her for Christmas. Yay. Do you like them? I think they're fun. I like them because they're simple and they're sectioned off in different categories so that you can do different kinds of readings. Anyway. So let's talk about power numbers versus master numbers. Okay. Power numbers are, well, first let me start with the master number. Well, first let me start with, we're talking about numerology, and then we're going to do a little astrology. Okay, so there are many different systems. The two main ones are, aside from the Kabbalah, but the two main numerological systems are the Chaldean, who were the Babylonians. And around the same time as the Chaldeans came Sam Pythagoras, philosopher, mathematician, and he devised a numerological system as well. That one is more popular today. The Chaldean system is very powerful, but it also takes into consideration the shape of the letter. So if your name starts with like an R, okay, you stand strong for others. So there's a whole, or an M, it's like you're a mountain. And O, you're fluid, like Olivia, things like that. So there's a different focus and there's a different number system. So I want to show you what this means because I put these two together for you. Here's the Chaldean system. And the Chaldean system is very valid, just as valid as the other one. But if you mix the two, sometimes you'll get confused and say, well, wait a minute. If that number over there is this, or this number over there is that. So when you're doing your names, not just your numbers, your birthday, your birth time, or, your destiny, path number, and all that. But when you look at your name, your full name, the Chaldeans, and you can, take a snapshot of this or pause it if this is a replay for you. And look at how does it compare. Oh my gosh, it's moving. Why is that moving? That is wacky. I don't know why that's moving. My whole thing was moving. That was freaky. Okay, I don't know what just happened. It's been like that for a couple of days. I'm going through a whole tech revamp here. Okay, anyway, Chaldean system, numerology. So let's compare the Chaldean with the Pythagoras. Okay, there's the Pythagorean numerology system. So you see where 1 is associated with the letters A, J, and S. But the Chaldean 1 is associated with A, I, J, Q, and Y. So you see, you can come up with different combinations. You have to see which one is best for you, but don't just go by the numbers. You need to understand, which we're not going to talk about today, but you need to understand the shape of the letters as well, and what the basis of the understanding for and calculations for the Chaldean numerology is all about. Okay? Just keep that in mind. So you can take snapshots of these with your phone, or if you're on a replay, just pause it. And if you're on a Mac, you can do Command Shift 4 and you get a screenshot. So when you add up your numbers in your name, or if you're deciding on a business name or a baby's name, you can come up with different vibrations. Now, sometimes the name that we want to give something is not the name that it actually takes on once it gets going. If you have a business, for an example, and you want to make a lot of money in your business, so what happens when you pick a name that equals a number 7? Well, it might mean that the business is more about research, or the business is more about a very small select type of clientele that are private, right? The 8 is the ultimate business number. 10 is not a number. It's actually works down to a 1, but a 10 is fame, right? Or a 5, a double 5, so there's so many combinations and definitions of things, but I want to start with the master numbers. Okay. Does that make sense? Does that help so far? Vicky's in an 8. Saw that. Wow. Yes. It's very powerful to look at the difference in what you feel vibes for you. Now, I know people, including family members, who were given a name, but they don't vibe at that name because it's stressful for them. So they use their middle name, or they change their name. And there's a lot of that going on right now. A lot of people changing their names. We have friends who had a baby 5 years ago, and then 2 years ago, they changed his middle name. They did not like the vibe. They didn't like where it was going. They saw similarities because it was, when you have a junior and a senior in a lineage, you will see a lot of the same patterns and behaviors. It's pretty fascinating. Okay, so let me stay on track here. Now, master numbers, okay? This is pretty fascinating. Master numbers. Let me move it up here, make it a little bigger. Okay, so what's a master number? It's 11, 22, and 33. And they are numbers that say in your birth date or in your name equal an 11. You don't distill it down emphatic addition to a number, to a one-digit number, like you would. A 3 plus a 5 is an 8. But if you divide an 8 into 2, it's 44. Well, that's a power number. It's not a master number. And the difference is that the master numbers are in just about every religion. They are talked about in different ways. So in early Hebrew religion, and we're looking at the Kabbalah when we talk about this, it's called the Tetragrammaton. Now, these are Greek words, but the Hebrew clan used that to really describe their definition of Yahweh. And that is a 4-letter word that has a power to it, because they ascribed in Kabbalah all the numbers and names that represented a thing. So every alphabetical letter has a number attached to it, and that has a vibration attached to it. And that's the part of the Kabbalah. Now, in Pythagorean numerology, when we look at the sum of an 11, we get a 2, right? So if we took a 2 and we divide it in half, it's an 11. It's not making the number bigger, smaller, or more powerful. It's looking at the vibration that goes with it. So as an example, the 11 which represents the gateway. Tetra for gramma in Greek means word. So it's a word with 4 letters, right? And it literally represents, the Yahweh is spelled YHWH, and each one of those has a separate vibration to it. But anyway, I digress. But the vibration of an 11 is the mastery of the extremes. And what do we experience on this earth? It's always as above, so below, but we don't act that way. It's the mind against the body. It's the intuition, which is always prevalent, but your mind is going to be, there's a body-mind connection that is once it comes together, that's when you can fully access the spirit part of you. So the 11 it's like a gateway. And the gateway brings the halves together, the masculine and the feminine. In Hindu and the Vedas, there is the Ida. I'm going to see what's backwards here. The Ida is the left side, the feminine side. The Pingala is the masculine side, and the Sushumna is the center. So when we bring things together through the 11, it means utilizing empathy, but not lowering your vibration. Because when you're empathic, you feel everything. You don't always know what's yours, right? But it's having very distinct boundaries around what you will allow in your life. So that's why a lot of 11 people are kind of shy or a little more aloof until they can figure it out. They're very charismatic. They're leaders. They help to illuminate the truth about something. Very great teachers. And remember, if you add up the 11 with the 22, you get a 33. So all the numbers apply to the next level. And separately, they also mean something in your world. Does this make sense so far? Are we like stunned, like you're mesmerized, listening? Okay. Just give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know that this is making sense to you. So when we look at a 22 is the upside of 4. So a 4 is work really hard. Like I have just entered a 4-year. It began weeks ago. The vibe was already here. And working hard, rolling up your sleeves, getting it done. What's on the list? Space it, pace it. What's the monetary input? What's the return on investment? What's the strategy? What's the plan? What are the implement tools? Right? So, but when you take a 4 and you break it into a 22, you're utilizing very creative means in learning how to apportion your time appropriately. Yes. Is that like good planning? Yeah, it is. But it's also about utilizing energy. They all do, all these master numbers, utilizing energy to present a certain vibration that comes from the inside. So the 22 is a master builder. It's the ultimate creator. So then it's, the way I like to look at it is, the 4 is the one who says, got to think outside the box because they're stuck in the box. Got to find another way to make a living, got to find another way to invest my money, got to find another way to make this project work, got to find another way. But in the meantime, I'm just going to work my ass off till I get there. Now, the 22 vibe of the master builder is utilizing the power of manifestation to pull in the support and the help and assistance of your team and spirit. So 22 says there are no boxes. 4 is like, okay, got to think outside the box, got to think outside the box. And then 22 realization is, oh, wait a minute, I can ask for help. And there are no boxes. Okay. Now 33 vibe is the master teacher. So we have the master, I would say, intuitive, the master builder, and the master teacher. And when you put them all together, you have body, mind, spirit in action at the highest level. That's where people, like, I am looking for people to possibly partner with in the future, people to know who are in my sphere, people who do things that I could say, oh my gosh, I have, Uranus square my Neptune. And they go, oh, yeah, have a cookie. You got some work to do, and understand me and get that, right? So it's building a community. When you start to vibe these numbers on any level with healthy boundaries intact and seeing that you have the ability and you have the power. Dorothy, click those heels 3 times. You've always had it. You've always had it. You can always go home in this body and not leave. Okay. So that's like a whole level of what's the, I said it last time. I'm paraphrasing. Okay. A man seeks enlightenment. He walks into the woods with a bucket of water and a stick. He finds enlightenment and he leaves the woods with a bucket of water and a stick. So it may not look different on the outside, but the inside, there's been a whole lot of transmutating, right? So the master teacher uses compassion to raise vibration for the spiritual awareness and empowerment of all, including animals, because it's the realization that everything is energy. And so there's a vibe that you can see and not attach to the fear of the lower 3-dimension reality of, oh my God, I'm so scared. Now, it doesn't mean you don't feel. It doesn't mean you don't have the capacity to, become startled or afraid. Or I turn around, suddenly my husband's standing there. I'm like, whoa, when did you get here? You're such a fox. Like, how did that happen? And it startles me, and I can feel my whole body go zzz. So it doesn't mean you're not feeling your feelings. It means you're utilizing your power to change the narrative. So what's the narrative? Oh, okay, glass case. Yeah, I wanted a glass case for Christmas, and everybody knows that my favorite color is blue, and I got purple, right? That's a narrative that says victim. Put it in a story. Go write a book. Go write a screenplay. Write a blog. Talk about how to transmute that energy to raise it to, I'm so thankful that somebody thought enough about me to give me a gift. It may not be the color I wanted, but I have to get over myself and accept the gift for what it is and not put a judgment on the whole scenario. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you have master numbers, it is your responsibility to get over yourself. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean you're better or worse than anyone else or more privileged or not. It doesn't mean any of that. Again, those are judgments. So you have to be very careful of what you're attaching to these things. Now, we're not going to talk about the power numbers, which are 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, right? So they intensify what's happening. And if you were to combine the digits, like an 88 would be 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 equals a 7. So in an 8, there's utilizing the power of finances, of marketing, of higher learning for resources, but doing it in a very spiritual way because it equals a 7, right? So that it just goes on and on and on. There's so many versions of what you can do with your numbers, but let's not go to the extreme. I mean, some people look at a chart. Hang on, let me just get rid of this and show you. I know some people and look at and say, look at Mars right now is 27 degrees, 13 minutes. That's 2 plus 7 equals a 9. So Mars is really angry right now. And 3 plus 1 is a 4. So because you have to get to work. And I mean, like you could go to the point of, what was the movie? Brilliant Minds, right? Where the guy just went crazy. Like you don't want to be one of those people who, what time is it? It's now. That's what I say. But it's like, it's 10:12. Well, I'm not going to ask that question right now because it equals a 4. That means work. It's like, oh, please take a breath. The numbers don't rule you, like the planets don't rule you, like nothing rules you except you. Okay, so just be careful of that. So while we're here, let me just move this up so I can be in front of it. Who else is here? Hey, Vicky saw that. Wow. Hey, Casey. Hi. A new year is around the clock. How exciting. Yay. HNY. Had enough of you. No. HNY. Happy New Year. I'm so slow when it comes to acronyms. Okay. I see words in them. Honey. HNY. Honey. Yes. Hi, honey. Okay. Happy New Year. So let's take a quick look. Does that make sense for the numerological portion of the program? And I have a lot more stuff, but yeah. Okay. So when I was talking about the number 11, it describes in the Kabbalah system, it describes the relationship between the eternal, considered the Yahweh, the G, don't mention it, D, the all ever present consciousness, what I call pure conscious love, genderless, odorless, colorless, and the mortal world. So that's the gateway. So if you have 11 in your name, if your first name equals an 11, you wouldn't distill it to a number 2. You would look at, oh, wow, I feel aloof sometimes. I feel overwhelmed by people. That's a possibility. I feel like I have a mission. I feel like I got to get something done for the betterment of, So when you're looking at the numbers that you have, take it in stride and with a grain of salt, but also use it for empowerment. I'm the 33. I've got 33 and 11. I've got both in my name. So I'm always learning, that's the 11, how to bridge the gap between head and heart, between extremes, between what feels right and appropriate versus the fear, right? And opening up to higher consciousness, incorporating and integrating. And then the 33 is me teaching or writing, expressing. So I think it's important that you give credence to the energy of the number, but it does not rule you. So if someone says to me, oh, I'm a 4, so I'm always rolling up my sleeves, or, I'm a Virgo, I look at the details. Well, yeah, you do. And then there's so many other parts of you, right? Because everything has energy to it. So when you attach one definition to a way of being, that's when you can get stuck. I mean, there are definitions, absolutely. 1 means 1. 2 means more than 1. 3 means 1 more than 2. Right? There's definitions. In astrology, numerology, color therapy, I mean, everything has a vibe to it. So you just want to look at what's the narrative? What are you talking about? How are you transmuting that vibe to make it better for you and the reason that you came here? Now let's look at this. Here's how we're ending up the year 2020. Okay, we've been through a lot, right? I don't have to say it. You already know. And the vibration of a 2021 in general is a 5. Now a 5 is, I'm so relieved to be out of a 4. I'm going to go to extremes. I'm going to travel. I'm going to party. I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to eat sugar. That's the lower vibe, the rebellious, but it's also the higher of the 5 vibe is I'm going to have a little more fun now. I want to do something that feels really great. I feel like sanding down a dresser and revarnishing. I feel like painting a picture. I feel like learning how to play the piano. I feel like doing something creative that I've never done before. Or I used to do, but I somehow forgot about it, and then bring back what was 9 years ago into now, because the numbers repeat themselves from 1 through 9. Make sense? Let me just check in. Hi, Deb. A Beautiful Mind. Yes, love that movie. Anyway, okay, so astrologically speaking, here's what I'm looking at. And I'm looking at it this way because we're ready. We're ready, right? But ultimately, in astrology, your birthday is your new year. That's when you really get going. This is the New Year's Eve of the calendar is the general starting over. So when people say, oh, I've got a New Year's resolution, don't even go there. That is a lower vibe, 3D, 4D concept that's going to put you into failure. If you're not familiar with the 80-20 rule, look it up. And it's a real thing. And so 80% of the people who say, I'm going to do this thing in the new year, they don't do it. Because they haven't changed anything about the way they think, the way they feel, the way they act. There's no difference between what was and what is. So unless you're actually moving towards something, that's when you'll see a result. And it takes about 21 days. It takes 7 years to completely slough your entire body of cells. And you start over. 7 years. But in 21 days, you have a whole new set of cellular vibe that, I can regenerate. I can quit eating sugar and replace it with monk fruit or stevia or erythritol or allulose xylitol raises blood sugar, so you got to be careful with xylitol. It's good for keeping the cavities off the teeth, though. So there's a lot of education involved, right, in raising your vibe, a little at a time. So the year that your personal year will determine what your next focus is and how to incorporate more of you. So when I look at this, I'm looking at Neptune over there. And in January, we're going to be talking about Mars and Uranus coming together. And could be a kablooey, could be oh wow, it could be an epiphany. Let's have it be that, okay? So Saturn, over there, Saturn and Jupiter are now in Aquarius. So we have a different vibe going on. There's a little bit more, there's some nanotechnology. There's some upgrading of equipment. There's some downloading new vibes to incorporate, to shake out the old, get rid of the old stuff, right? There's a bucket that's called a bucket in astrology when there's a whole lot of planets in one space. And it gets more intense in January. But the Neptune, which represents, over there in Pisces, which represents ideal vision, and medicine, yes, illusion, karmic addiction, karma itself, and also the ability to transmutate, move energy through creative means, to morph into something else, to take something out of the nebula and make it real, right? But in Pisces, it's very dreamy, it's arcane, it's mystical. On the downside, it's addictive, it's harmful, it's a liar, it's a gambler, it's a cheat, it's a drunk, right? On the upside, it can walk on water. It can rise above the limitations, right? But what it's doing is squaring the nodes, exact degree. When a planet makes any kind of angle to Neptune, within 4 degrees, the average orb is 8 degrees, but when a planet or a celestial body or a calculation makes an angle to Neptune within 4 degrees, it gets our attention. Who's pushing your buttons? Why do you suddenly feel like you can't breathe because there's so much to do? Why do you suddenly feel like you're so far behind, you're sliding up a muddy mountain? You're Sisyphus. Exact degree it is time now, if you really want to make a resolution, and let's not look at it as a resolution, let's look at it as a commitment to self in the moment. If you really want to do something that is powerful for yourself, change the narrative. All right, so the North Node represents, and the nodes are parts, they're adjuncts of the moon. So when the Earth is rolling around the sun, our star. At the same time, the moon is rolling around the earth. Well, at the exact points where the moon connects with the Earth's orbit around the sun, there's a north and south side to that. It's called the north and south node, and they are karmic points. The north node is where you're headed. The south node, over there by Venus, is what you're moving away from. Now, these are the transits. You have different ones in your natal chart. And so if you use the north node as a guiding light in the general chart, which is what we're looking at now, and the south node is what you're letting go of criticism, judgment, cynicism, letting go of, nope, can't happen, not in this lifetime. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I better hoard my stuff because they're going to take it from me. That's the south node. But you see Venus there in Sagittarius, soothing. The Venus isn't doing anything really to you, but the definitions are, the ramifications are that you're being soothed right now. It's like, it's okay. Mama's here. I'm going to pull the Band-Aid off. It might hurt. Okay. But I have a cookie waiting for you. So let's look at the possibilities of the future versus the pain of the past. And utilizing Neptune, it's how can you do that? Meditation. How can you do that? Transmute energy through art, through poetry, through dreaming. Daydreams, night dreams. Through accessing parts of you that are pure spirit. So let's do that. And a lot of people will do the typical New Year's Eve, yay, party, woo, and get inebriated beyond belief or lose their brain cells to whatever because they want to forget about the last year. And that's one way. The other way, and another way, might be to make a couple of notations, do a vision board, what John Assaraf will call a vision board, or a couple of notations of what are the North Node, what is pulling me in Gemini toward that thing, that creation, that project, that idea, that research, that data, that information, that possibility that makes me feel expansive and big and pure conscious love. That's what you want to focus on. So if you were to do a card reading for yourself or take some paper and write little words that you want to let go of, like that judgment against so-and-so. And that judgment against so-and-so is not just one thing. It's a trail of judgments against all the so-and-sos who show up in your life. Because if you're resonating a frequency, you're going to pull it to you. So if you feel like a victim with any one person, you will keep attracting that same kind of person to you. They have a different face, a different name, different background, but you're like, oh, wow, she sounds like my cousin, or he looks like my brother, or he talks to me the way my father did, so you just keep attracting the same thing over and over again. So to become aware of that, you just write down what is the top 3 things you want to let go of in your personal year. So let's say, let me get an example. Deb, January 13th. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 5 is headed into a 1 year. You're in a 1 year, Deb. You're going into a 1 year. January 13 is your birthday. So January is a 1. 13 equals a 4. That's a 5. Plus a 5 for 2021. That's a 1 year. So you're starting over. So anything and it trails over. It overlaps. The last couple of months of the previous year overlap to the beginning of the new year. And then you can start to figure out what new beginnings would I like to involve myself with that have nothing to do with the past. Because every time you bring up the past, you regurgitate the same stuff that doesn't get you anywhere. It takes you 2 steps backwards. Oh, I'd love to go travel, but they have travel bans now. I don't know if I'll ever travel again. Okay, sure. I would love to travel. Let me go and dream about it. Let me make a vision board about it. Period. Let me go research. What does it look like now to travel? And without going into a negative diatribe of blah, 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 I never get what I want, it's never going to happen, that's the judgment we are moving away from. Because your language, in Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, actually it came from the Akkadians, a civilization that died out and became the Hebrew civilization at some point. They had a word, right? 2 words, actually. 2 words. One, avra, kadavra. Well, that's 3 words because the third one would be mazel tov. And mazel tov means, literally, may you have correct positioning of the stars. It's been distilled down through the centuries to mean congratulations. We hope it all works out for you. But literally the translation is, may you have correct positioning of the stars. And then the other one, avra kadavra, is I create as I speak. But before you're speaking, you're thinking and you're feeling. That's where I want you to go. Let me pull a moonology card. Does this make sense? La la la. La 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 la. Let me just check it in. Okay, I'll be back starting January 7th. Yes, I will. I have to look at the calendar. It is going to be only Thursdays now because I'm in a 4-year and I've got work to do. Oh, this just flew out of my hand. Oh, new moon in Leo. That comes next. We just had one in Cancer. We're just in the guise of the new moon in the full moon in Cancer, which there was a lot of tension around that with Mercury and Pluto. You see the opposition. It's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to clean out my closets. I don't want to organize my desk. I don't want to get busy. I want to go hide. I want to do what I want to do. And then somebody's over there, somebody in your world or your own thoughts are saying, but you got to get that done. Because if you don't do it now, then what? So there's a tension, oppositions equal tension. But again, the planets and the moon, it's not doing it to you. There's a part of you that say, there's a collective tension, like, oh, what's it going to look like? 2021. Let's hope it doesn't get worse. What's that new strain in Colorado and California? Oh my God. We're not going to go there. You do what you need to do to up your vibe, to be as healthy as possible, to minimize and mitigate the fear with understanding that our next full moon will be in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. That's it. This is Yasmin's Moonology Oracle Cards, 44 card deck and guidebook, Yasmin Bolin, and artwork by Nix Rowan. And if you didn't hear the story earlier, my husband actually got a text from her. She didn't know about me. And he didn't know this was her when he bought these for me for Christmas. And so we all are starting to become very good friends across the pond. What do you know? Lulu. Anyway, I like her cards. And confidence is your key to success, the new moon in Leo. So we want to be looking toward what we can do to feel successful in any moment. Oh, the cookies I just made, they're gluten-free and I feel so much better because I was allergic to gluten, whatever. I just dusted my furniture for the first time in a month. I feel successful. Oh, whatever it means to you, go there, okay? So, Happy New Year, everyone. And I will see you next year. I had to say it. I had to say it. Oh, Lucy asks, Elaine, do I add 11 to make 2 for my... No. Well, if you're going to be in a 2-year in 2021, it means that the 11 is right there. The umbrella number is the 11. And it's guiding you toward... Hey, hang on. La, la, la. No, that's not... Yeah. The gateway between worlds, your illumination, you're being able to bridge the higher energy with the physical energy, your mortality with your immortality. Good luck. It's not that hard. Just take care of yourself and then offer to help someone else in equal measure. That's what helps a lot. Okay, Deb says, thank you, Elaine. Happy to be moving forward and happy to have your guidance. Oh, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. And as always, let me just get rid of that. As always, I wish you peace, and I will see you on January 7th. We're going to be talking about some big energies coming up. Happy New Year. Bye. As always, I wish you peace.